The year was 1543. The skies of Europe were seething with war clouds, and the Mediterranean was no longer blue, but saturated with the smell of gunpowder and death. In Paris, King Francis I sat at his table, staring at maps of the European kingdoms. Charles V, known as Charlequin, King of Spain and Holy Roman Emperor, was tightening the noose around France, besieging its borders and strangling its trade with an invincible fleet. In a moment of despair, the king headed to the most unusual gate of the era, the Gate of Istanbul. He wrote a letter in ink that blended diplomacy and hope. To Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, the shadow of God on earth, commander of the faithful, I extend my hand to you, not out of weakness, but out of awareness that justice can dwell in Constantinople as truth dwells in Paris. In Istanbul, where mosques embrace the sky, Sultan Suleiman had just finished his consultative assembly. The letter reached him from a French messenger trembling with awe of the Ottoman court. He read the letter twice, then raised his head and said in a deep voice, "Francois is not asking for a sword, but for brotherhood against those who have broken the balance of Europe." He ordered the Ottoman fleet to be equipped under the command of the legendary admiral, Hayreddin Barbarossa. Within months, the two greatest fleets, the French and the Ottoman, met in a scene unprecedented in history. Their destination, Nice. Nice was then under the control of Charles V forces, a fortified city overlooking the coast, guarded by a wall of cannons and sleepless soldiers. The combined fleet arrived in the summer of 1543, and the cannons began to rain down the sky. The screams of the people, the flames of the fire, the clang of the swords, everything blended as if war knew no language other than pain. Inside the city, a girl named Eleanor, the daughter of a local governor secretly sympathetic to the French, walked at night on the Rue Drouet, carrying secret messages to the resistance. That night, an Ottoman shell exploded next to her, tearing through the wall, but she miraculously survived. That shell left a mark etched in the stone, and a deeper mark in her heart. After a weeks-long siege, Nice defenses collapsed. Barbarossa entered with French soldiers. The city was not plundered, the Sultan had issued a decree prohibiting attacks on civilians. Instead, bread and water were distributed, and the French and Ottoman flags were raised side by side on the towers. Francois later wrote in his memoirs, "Yesterday's enemy had become an invaluable ally. The Orient shone for France when the West's radiance faded." The shell, which rests on Rue Drouet to this day, bears witness to that rare moment in history when the Eagle of the East joined forces with the French Lilac to repel the Spanish Dragon. It is not just a piece of rusty iron, but a relic of a time when swords and politics intertwined, and when loyalty transcended continents.